Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. We love to go deep here.
Yeah.
And today we are diving into the world of manifestation.
Ooh, manifestation.
Manifestation,
I
yes.
love it.
Yeah, it's super popular right now.
Yeah.
And we are dissecting a really popular YouTube podcast that we found on the topic. And we are going to bring you the most juicy bits.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you want to turn those dreams into reality, you're in the right place.
Love that.
So get ready for some fascinating stuff because it's a really interesting blend of, we're talking about science and ancient wisdom kind of coming together.
Right. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about how it's presented as this kind of like magical thing sometimes.
Yeah.
But there's actually this really fascinating interplay between like real science and spirituality.
Yeah, so let's kind of like break this down a little bit.
Okay.
So the YouTube podcast that we're looking at, they start by defining manifestation as way more than just wishing.
Right.
Like it's about aligning your thoughts, your emotions, and even your actions with what you want to achieve.
It's like you become like a co-creator in your own life.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's not
That
just
powerful stuff.
Yeah, you're not just passively waiting for things to happen. You're like actively participating in shaping your reality.
Yes.
And this is where I think that idea of the law of attraction comes in.
Oh, the law of attraction?
Yeah, have you heard about this?
I have heard of it. I think it's one of those things that's like, a little bit
Buzzy.
Buzzy. Yeah, exactly.
But it's this idea that like attracts, like
Attracts so if I'm constantly thinking about, negative things, am I actually drawing more negativity into my life?
well, I mean, think about it this way. Like, have you ever noticed when you're in a good mood, good things just seem to happen?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're attracting these positive experiences.
Yeah.
So the podcast suggests that that principle applies to our thoughts as well.
Okay.
But it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
It links it to a really fascinating scientific concept called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity.
Yeah, essentially it's your brain's ability to rewire itself based on your thoughts and habits.
Wait, hold on. Neuroplasticity, that sounds a little bit complex.
I know it sounds a little sciencey, but it's actually quite simple.
Okay.
Imagine your brain like a garden, okay?
Okay, garden, I like it.
Every time you think a thought or you perform an action, you're kind of creating a pathway in that garden, like a little trail.
Okay,
And the more you walk down that path, the more defined that trail becomes.
makes sense.
So neuroplasticity suggests that we can actually change our brains just by consciously choosing which pathways we strengthen.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, like if I want to change a negative thought pattern or a behavior, I need to create a new, more positive pathway in my brain and then just keep walking down it until it becomes stronger than that old one.
You got it. You're getting it.
Okay.
And that's where these practical steps of manifestation come in.
Okay.
Instead of just, wishing for things to change, you're actively rewiring your brain to support those goals.
So powerful.
And what's so fascinating is how this connects to the spiritual side of manifestation as well, something that ancient traditions have actually been emphasizing for centuries.
Really? So this is not like a new thing?
No, not at all. Like, think about practices like meditation or mindfulness
Right.
that are common to traditions like Buddhism and Hinduism.
Yeah.
These practices have always emphasized the power of our thoughts and intentions. They focus on calming the mind and cultivating positive
So
emotions.
it's like modern science is catching up with this ancient wisdom.
Totally.
Wow. Okay, so we've got science backing up what spiritual practices have known for ages.
It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing. So how do we actually take all this knowledge and put it into action?
Well, the YouTube podcast lays out a 5-step guide.
Okay, 5 steps. I like it.
Yeah.
Break it down for me.
All right. So first, you need to get really clear about what you want. And I mean, like, crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
We're talking like, write down, I want to get a promotion to senior marketing manager by December. Instead of, I just want a better job.
I see what you're saying.
It's like setting a precise destination in your GPS.
Yes,
Instead of just saying, take me somewhere nice.
I like that.
The podcast emphasizes that the universe responds to clarity.
Okay.
The more specific you are, the easier it is to align your thoughts, your emotions, your actions with that goal.
Got it. So that's step 1. We've set the destination in our manifestation GPS. What's next?
Step 2, visualization.
Ooh, visualization.
Yeah, close your eyes, imagine yourself already living in that desired reality.
Okay.
Don't just think about it. Feel it, experience the emotions, the sights, the sounds, as if it's happening right now.
This reminds me of athletes that use visualization techniques
Yes.
to improve their performance.
Exactly.
They imagine themselves executing the perfect, move or winning a race, and it actually helps them achieve it.
That's a great connection because by visualizing your goal, you're essentially creating a mental blueprint for success. It's like you're telling your brain this is where we're headed. Start making the necessary connections.
So it's like we're tricking our brain into believing it's already achieved the goal.
Yeah,
And that helps pave the way for it to actually happen.
that's the idea.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
All
This is good stuff.
right, you ready for step 3?
Hit me with it.
All right, step 3, using affirmations.
Affirmations.
Yeah, so think of affirmations as positive statements that reinforce your desired reality.
Okay.
Things like, I am confident and capable, or I attract abundance and opportunity.
So it's not just visualizing the goal, but also like consciously shifting our self-talk to align with it.
Exactly, like instead of saying, I'm terrible at public speaking, you would say, I am a confident and engaging speaker.
Love it.
Remember neuroplasticity?
Yes.
By repeating these affirmations, you're literally rewiring your brain to believe them.
Okay.
And when you believe in yourself and your ability to achieve those goals, it becomes a lot easier to take action.
Which leads us to step 4.
God.
Let me guess. It's about actually doing something to make it happen.
Ding, 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 we have a winner.
Wishing and hoping is not going to cut it.
Not going to cut it. You got to take inspired action.
Inspired action. Okay.
This could mean anything from updating your resume and networking for a new job to signing up for that art class you've always wanted to take.
So it's about taking those concrete steps that align with our vision.
You got it.
Not just sitting back and waiting for the universe to deliver it on a silver platter.
Exactly. It's like a dance between your inner world and your outer reality.
I like that.
You're setting the intention, you're
Yeah.
visualizing the outcome, and then you're taking those action steps that move you closer to your goal.
Okay, so what about that letting go part that I've always heard so much about?
Oh yeah, letting go.
It always seemed kind of contradictory to me, like you're putting in all this effort, but then you're supposed to just let go.
Right. How does that work?
Yeah, how does that work?
Well, that's where step 5 comes in.
Okay.
This is arguably the most challenging step.
Okay.
Trusting the process.
Trusting the process.
You've done the visualization, you're working on your affirmations, you're taking action. Now it's about releasing that attachment to the outcome and having faith that things will unfold as they should.
Okay, that sounds like it requires a lot of trust, especially if you're someone who likes to be in control.
It definitely does. The podcast host actually uses a really great analogy.
Okay, I love analogies.
Okay, imagine you've planted a seed and you're constantly digging it up to see if it's sprouted yet.
Oh yeah, to check on it.
You're not giving it the space and the time it needs to grow.
Right.
Manifestation is very similar. You need to plant that seed, you need to nurture it with your thoughts and actions, and then trust that it will blossom in its own time.
I'm starting to see how all of this, the science, the ancient wisdom, the practical steps, it's all interconnected.
It's pretty amazing.
But I'm sure there are like some common pitfalls that people fall into.
Oh, yeah,
You know, things that can sabotage their efforts to manifest.
for sure. The podcast highlights 4 common mistakes.
Okay, lay them on me.
Okay, number 1, they get impatient, they expect instant results, and get discouraged when things don't happen overnight.
That makes sense. We live in a world of instant gratification, so it's easy to fall into that trap.
Right, exactly. And it ties into the second mistake, focusing on what you lack instead of what you have.
Okay.
When you're constantly dwelling on what's missing, you're actually attracting more lack into your life.
So instead of saying, I'm so broke, you shift your focus to, I'm grateful for the roof over my head and the food on my table.
That's a much better way to think about it.
Yes, find those nuggets of abundance even in challenging situations.
Exactly.
I like it.
And this leads us to mistake number 3, which we've already touched on a little bit, not taking any action.
Right, you got to do something.
You got to do something. It's great to visualize, it's great to affirm, but without action, those desires just stay desires.
They're just dreams.
You need to take concrete steps, no matter how small, to move yourself in the direction of your goals.
Okay, it's like the universe helps those who help themselves. You're not just waiting for magic, you're participating in the creation of your life.
Totally. And that brings us to the final mistake, and this might be the most insidious one.
Ooh, insidious.
Doubting yourself.
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt is like a weed
Oh yeah, it's a big one.
that can choke those seeds of your dreams before they have a chance to sprout.
So how do we combat that inner critic?
Well,
How do we cultivate more self-belief, especially when I think so many of us have been conditioned to focus on those flaws and shortcomings?
you're so right. And the podcast offers a few suggestions, and it reiterates the importance of using those affirmations to kind of counter that negative self-talk.
Okay.
But it also hints that something a little deeper, like the need to address those root causes of self-doubt.
So it's not just about like slapping on a positive affirmation like a Band-Aid.
Right.
It's about digging deeper and understanding where those negative beliefs come from.
Exactly. And that's where their real life story comes into play.
Okay, tell me about this.
They share an anecdote about a friend who successfully manifested moving to her dream city.
Amazing.
But it's really the journey she took to get there that's so fascinating.
Okay, I want to hear more about this friend and her manifestation journey.
Well, it wasn't all sunshine and roses.
Okay.
She had to overcome some pretty significant obstacles, including some limiting beliefs about her own worthiness and her ability to create the life that she wanted.
So relatable.
But through a combination of visualization, affirmations, consistent action, and yes, there were definitely moments of doubt and frustration along the way, she managed to make it happen.
That's so inspiring.
It really highlights that manifestation is not just some magical quick fix, it's a process.
Yeah.
And it often requires us to face those inner demons and push past our comfort zones.
And I bet for our listener hearing that real life story is so much more powerful than any theory.
Oh, absolutely.
It makes it feel achievable.
It shows that even when we stumble or fall back into those old patterns, we can always choose to get back up and keep moving forward.
I love that.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Incorporating these daily practices that can really support our manifestation journeys.
Okay, yes, tell me more about these daily practices.
So the podcast suggests 4 key practices.
4? Okay, what are they?
Morning gratitude,
Gratitude.
journaling,
Journaling. I love journaling. Meditation.
affirmations.
Okay, so we're going to dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
We are.
Okay, so we have got this like amazing toolkit of manifestation techniques, right? We're talking visualization, affirmations, gratitude, even rewiring our brains with neuroplasticity.
It's pretty powerful stuff.
It is powerful, but I think, what our listener really wants is to like see this stuff in action. How does it play out in the real world?
You're absolutely right. It's one thing to understand the theory, but seeing how these principles work in real-life situations can make a huge difference.
Totally. So you mentioned a story earlier about your friend who like manifested moving to her dream city.
Oh, yeah.
What were some of the challenges she faced and like how did she use these techniques to overcome them?
Okay. So her story, it really highlights the power of persistence and self-belief.
Okay.
You see, her dream city was Paris.
Paris is so classic.
Always had been, but life just kept pulling her in different directions, and she started to believe that maybe it was just a fantasy, not something attainable.
I think a lot of us have those dreams, that we kind of tuck away in a corner of our minds thinking like, yeah, that would be amazing. But
Totally.
what shifted for her?
Well, she hit a point where she was just tired of feeling unfulfilled.
Okay.
So she decided to dust off that dream and give manifestation a real shot.
I love that.
So she started small, using visualization to create this vivid mental picture of herself living in Paris.
Okay.
She would walk around her own town, imagining the Parisian streets, the aroma of those fresh croissants, the sound of people speaking French.
That is such a good example of how to make visualization work for you. It doesn't have to be this like formal sit-down meditation thing.
Right.
You can incorporate it into your everyday life.
Absolutely. And she didn't stop there.
Okay.
She started learning French, taking online courses. She even found a language partner to practice with.
Wow, she was committed.
She was. And she started saving diligently, visualizing that dream apartment, overlooking the Seine, becoming more and more tangible.
So she was taking those steps to align her actions with her vision, even though she was still, miles away from Paris.
Precisely. And that's a crucial point, right? Manifestation isn't about sitting back and waiting for a miracle. It's about taking inspired action that supports your goal.
Right. So for her, learning French and saving money, those were those concrete steps that showed her commitment to making that dream a reality.
So exactly.
I imagine there were times when she doubted herself, though.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a big leap to move to a new country, especially if you're doing it on your own.
Right. She definitely had moments of fear and insecurity.
Like, what if I can't afford it? What if I don't make any friends?
Yeah.
What if I just hate it?
Exactly. All those what ifs. These doubts are so natural, but she didn't let them paralyze her.
So how did she deal with those moments of self-doubt?
Affirmations.
Affirmations.
They became her secret weapon.
Okay.
She would repeat phrases like, I am worthy of living my dream life, or I am courageous and capable of creating the life I desire.
Love it.
Whenever those doubts crept in, she would consciously shift her focus to these empowering statements.
It's like she was retraining her brain to believe in her own potential.
Exactly.
Instead of getting stuck in that negative self-talk, she was choosing to focus on thoughts that supported her goal.
And that's where that concept of neuroplasticity comes in again. By
Yeah.
consistently repeating those positive affirmations, she was strengthening those neural pathways associated with self-belief and confidence.
So she was literally rewiring her brain for success.
She was.
I love that. So she used visualization, action steps, affirmations to kind of move closer to her dream. But
Yeah.
what about that letting go part?
Right.
Did she struggle with that?
Letting go was definitely the hardest part for her. She's a natural planner, likes to feel in control,
Yeah.
but she realized that clinging too tightly to her vision was actually creating resistance.
So she had to find that balance between taking action and kind of surrendering to the unknown,
Exactly.
trusting that the universe would support her in ways she couldn't even imagine.
That's exactly it. And here's the amazing part.
Okay, tell me.
Once she truly let go of that rigid control, things started falling into place in unexpected ways.
Get out of here.
She found an affordable apartment in a charming neighborhood. She connected with this group of welcoming expats.
Wow.
And she even landed a freelance job that allowed her to work remotely.
It's like when you let go, the universe can like work its magic.
You got it.
That is so cool.
It's a beautiful example of how letting go can actually open up doors that we didn't even know existed.
But I bet there's still some listeners out there who are a little skeptical. You know, they might be thinking, okay, that's one anecdote, but does this really work for everyone?
It's a valid question, and the truth is, there's no guarantee that simply using these techniques will magically grant your every wish.
Right.
Remember, manifestation is about aligning your energy with your desires and taking inspired action.
It's not a magic spell.
It's not a magic
You're not
trick.
just like waving a wand and poof.
Exactly.
It's like you're setting a sail and letting the wind carry you.
Yes.
But you still need to steer the ship.
You're co-creating with the universe,
Yes.
not dictating the terms.
I love that analogy. And this brings us to another really important point, the importance of self-awareness.
Yes.
Manifestation isn't just about, blindly chasing after whatever pops into your head.
Right.
It's about understanding your deepest values, desires, and motivations.
Exactly. Like sometimes what we think we want on the surface isn't actually what will bring us true fulfillment.
So true.
Manifestation is a journey of self-discovery as much as it is about achieving those specific goals.
And maybe that's where the real magic lies. It's not just about getting the stuff, but about the personal growth and transformation that happens along the way.
Absolutely. That transformation often involves facing our fears, challenging those limiting beliefs, stepping outside of our comfort zones.
It's not always easy.
But it's so rewarding.
It is so rewarding. I think that's an important message for our listeners. Manifestation isn't always rainbows and butterflies.
Right.
It can be challenging, it can be messy, and it requires a willingness to do that inner work.
You're so right. It's about showing up for yourself even when it's hard.
Yes.
And this is where those daily practices we discussed earlier can really come in handy.
They can help us to cultivate that resilience, self-belief, and clarity we need
Yeah.
to navigate those ups and downs of the manifestation journey.
Exactly. They're like the foundation of a strong and sturdy house.
Mm.
The stronger the foundation, the more capable that house is of withstanding those storms and weathering those challenges.
I love that analogy, but I bet our listeners eager to hear more about those specific practices
Yeah.
and how to actually incorporate them into their daily life.
Well, that is a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive.
All right, so we've talked about the science, the ancient wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
those practical steps, the real-life success stories, even the potential pitfalls. Now, let's get into those daily practices that can help us become master manifestors.
Yes. These practices are like the training regimen for your manifestation muscles.
Oh, I like that.
They help you build up that strength, flexibility, stamina you need to make those dreams a reality.
I love that analogy. So let's break it down, starting with morning gratitude.
Okay.
You touched on it a little bit earlier, but I'd love to hear more about its specific benefits and how to make it like a truly impactful practice.
So morning gratitude is like setting the tone for your entire day. When you wake up feeling grateful for all the good things in your life, it's so much easier to approach the day with a positive and optimistic outlook.
It's like putting on those rose-colored glasses. Only it's not about ignoring the challenges. It's about choosing to focus on the good, even amidst the not so good.
Exactly. And that positive energy is what attracts more good things into your life. It's like you're sending out a signal to the universe that says, hey, I'm open to receiving all the abundance and blessings you have to offer.
So how can our listener make morning gratitude a truly powerful practice? Do they need to spend hours writing in a journal?
Not at all. It doesn't have to be complicated. Even just taking a few minutes to reflect on what you're grateful for can make a huge difference. You can simply think about it while you're brushing your teeth. You could write down 3 things in a gratitude journal, or even share your gratitude with a loved one over breakfast.
Now, I've also heard some people recommend like keeping a gratitude jar where you just write down things you're grateful for throughout the day, and then you can read them at the end of the week or the month.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
It's a nice way to visually remind yourself of all the good.
I like that.
Yeah. So the key is to find what works for you and make it a consistent practice.
Exactly. The more you cultivate gratitude, the more you'll find it spilling over into other areas of your life.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've set that positive tone with morning gratitude. What's next in our manifestation workout routine?
Next up is journaling, one of my favorite tools for personal growth and manifestation.
I love journaling.
It's so good because journaling provides this like safe and private space to explore your thoughts, emotions, and desires. It's like having a conversation with your soul.
Yeah, and I think it can be really helpful for gaining clarity about what you truly want to manifest. It's so easy to get caught up in what we think we should want, but journaling allows us to tap into those like authentic desires.
Exactly. And the YouTube podcast that we've been discussing, they suggest a specific journaling technique that can be particularly powerful for manifestation.
Oh, tell me more.
Writing about your goals as if they've already happened.
Ooh, can you give us an example of what that would look like?
Sure. Let's say your goal is to launch your own business. Instead of writing, I want to start a business, you would write something like, I am so grateful and excited to be running my own successful business. I wake up every day feeling energized and inspired to serve my clients and make a positive impact on the world.
Wow, that is powerful.
Right. It's like you're stepping into the reality of your dream and feeling those emotions associated with it.
Yeah, and by writing in the present tense and using that emotive language, you're essentially creating that mental and emotional blueprint for success.
Yeah.
You're signaling to your subconscious mind, this is who I am. This is what I'm creating.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how journaling can be so much more than just a way to like vent or process emotions. It's like a tool for shaping our reality.
It really is. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Even just 5 to 10 minutes of journaling each day can make a huge difference.
Okay, so we've got morning gratitude to set that positive tone journaling, to clarify our goals and visualize them as already achieved. What's the next piece of the puzzle?
Meditation.
Meditation.
This is where we really start to fine-tune our manifestation frequency.
Okay, I'll admit meditation is something I've always struggled with. My mind tends to race a million miles a minute.
I hear you.
Is there a specific technique that would be helpful for like someone like me who's new to meditation?
There are countless meditation techniques out there, so it's really about finding one that resonates with you. But a simple and effective technique for manifestation is visualization meditation.
Visualization meditation. So, okay,
Yeah.
tell me more about how that works.
So find a quiet space where you can relax comfortably.
Okay.
Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and bring your awareness to your body.
Okay.
Then start visualizing your desired outcome as if it's happening right now. Engage all your senses.
How about you?
What do you see, smell, taste, feel?
Ooh, it's like creating a mini movie in your mind, except you're the star.
Exactly. And the key here is to feel those emotions associated with your vision. Allow yourself to experience the joy, the excitement, the gratitude as if your dream is already a reality.
I could see how that would really help to like imprint that vision onto your subconscious mind and attract it into your life.
Yes, and the more you practice meditation, the easier it becomes to quiet your mind and access that deep inner knowing that guides you toward your highest good.
Okay, so we've covered morning gratitude, journaling, meditation. What's the final piece of our manifestation training program?
Affirmations.
Affirmation.
We've mentioned them throughout our conversation, but they deserve their own spotlight.
Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce your desired reality and reprogram your subconscious mind.
It's like giving your brain a software update, replacing those old limiting beliefs with empowering new ones.
Exactly. And the key to making affirmations work is repetition and belief. The more you repeat them, the more you start to embody the truth of those statements.
I've heard that it's important to phrase affirmations in the present tense as if they're already true.
Yes.
So instead of saying, I want to be confident, you would say, I am confident.
Exactly. The present tense creates that sense of immediacy and empowers you to step into the reality you're creating.
So it's not just about wishful thinking, but about declaring your truth and aligning your energy with that truth. You got it. And remember, affirmations can be used for any area of your life. You can create affirmations for abundance, love, health, career success, anything you desire to manifest.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. I feel like I've gained like a whole new understanding of what manifestation really means and how to make it work for me.
Huh.
But I'm sure our listeners wondering, okay, I'm ready to start manifesting my best life.
Mhm.
What's the first step?
That's a great question. And the answer is simple: start with what excites you.
Hmm.
What is one thing you would love to manifest in your life right now? Choose something that lights you up and fills you with a sense of purpose and possibility.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be something grand or life-altering. It could be something as simple as manifesting a new hobby,
Yeah.
a deeper connection with a loved one, or even just a more peaceful and joyful state of mind.
Exactly. And remember, the journey of manifestation is a process, not a destination.
Yes.
There will be ups and downs, moments of doubt, and moments of triumph, but the key is to keep moving forward one step at a time, trusting the process and believing in your own infinite potential.
What a beautiful way to wrap up this deep dive on manifestation. So to our listener who's ready to embark on this incredible journey, we leave you with this final thought. You are the creator of your reality. Start small, dream big, and never stop believing in the magic of your own manifestation power.